Hello, this is Cobra Radio at the Tribune newspaper and radio program. This is Blue Laker, and today we're going to be talking about King Cobra. Well, I'm sure that most of you have heard about Cobra. That's an insurance program that Reagan put into effect in 1985. And is still a viable option today for people who leave their job voluntarily or involuntarily. But the reason I'm talking about King Cobra today is because King Cobra is intended to be a modified version of the 1985 Ronald Reagan Cobra insurance program that covers pre-existing medical conditions. Unlike that program, King Cobra does not cover pre-existing conditions or catastrophic conditions for a year after becoming a member. It would also have lower premiums and deductibles that could be lowered incrementally for those who are in good health or do not exceed certain limitations. This would do away with Obamacare, provide coverage and increase membership growth. And while a final medical act is under consideration and construction, it would save millions of dollars, time, and expense, as well as bickering and upsetting political factions. So for additional information, stay tuned to this program, and we will give you some more information as to how you can call in and address your concerns. So what is all this talk about Obamacare? It's real simple. Obamacare isn't working, it's self-defeating, and it's losing. It's losing daily, and we cannot continue with the program. So we need to find a viable option to give people the coverage that they deserve. As I mentioned, Cobra, the original insurance program created by President Ronald Reagan, was intended to make sure that people didn't lose their insurance when they were out of work. Pure and simple. But it also had some options that are available only through that program today, like pre-existing medical conditions. So rather than trying to create a brand new wheel, why don't we just adopt both Cobra and King Cobra? Because King Cobra does not work with pre-existing conditions or catastrophic illness within the first year of membership. The good part about that is those people in good health potentially can receive reduced deductibles and reduced insurance premiums. So the huge difference is that people with good health and people who maintain their good health actually are going to be rewarded for doing so. Unfortunately, because everything was under one umbrella before, especially under Obamacare, everybody had to pay for all of the medical needs that everybody had, whether they were in good condition or bad condition. So in order to save a lot of time and expense, especially with our legislatures who have many, many, many other chores to do in terms of immigration, in terms of increasing jobs and opportunities, and reducing expenses. So reducing expenses is a very important factor in the United States. Just one quick example. I don't want to get off Cobra by any stretch of the imagination, but let's just assume that there are just 20 million illegal aliens in the United States. And let's just assume that if they weren't there, and we didn't have to put out the money for them, even at $1 a day, that's $20 million a day that we would save. Now I'm talking about subsidies. You see, if the federal government pays those subsidies to these people who are not really entitled to it, that's money that we save. Now, if we save it, now we have it for other uses, including the deficit. And we have to do something about the deficit. So it can't have everything. It just doesn't work. You only have enough fish for enough people. Yeah, no, we're not like Christ, and he fed the vast multitude. But you can run out of fish pretty quick. And that's exactly what we're looking at, running out of fish. So I want to talk again, I want to address Cobra specifically. You know, we're all looking for the best possible price we can get, and the necessities of life. And health insurance is no different. That is why it's imperative to compare health insurance quotes to help you find the best one you possibly can. When you take the time to get several quotes, you are much more likely to get the best deal. These days, it's extremely easy to do this with the aid of the internet. And these days, visit health insurance websites and get several quotes and compare prices and coverage. You need to be certain you look at the quality of the insurer as well as the cost of the coverage. This will allow you to get the best deal. It's very important for you to compare health insurance quotes to make certain you're getting absolutely best coverage possible. If you just commit to one health insurance company without stopping or shopping around, you could be making a huge financial mistake. Therefore, you should invest a few minutes to find the best health insurance to meet your needs at the best price as well. And that gets back to King Cobra. King Cobra is designed to eliminate as many expenses as possible. And that's why King Cobra is different than Cobra, because Cobra does take pre-existing conditions. We all know that pre-existing conditions have a tendency to cost a lot more money. And so, it's not the general public's fault that these pre-existing conditions exist, nor should it be the expense of other people to pay for the cost of other people. Simply said, if we eliminate additional expenses involved with those who are more critical in their medical needs, we have those savings which can be applied to other things. So, and other insurances. So by having the second program, King Cobra, and you have people in there that have medical needs and people in there who unnecessarily go to the doctor because every time their kid blows their nose, it's not coming out right. The point is that if we become conscientious about our real medical needs and we don't take up the doctor's time and we don't have those expenses, now we're able to lower premiums. So the benefit of making sure that you have a medical need is critical, absolutely critical to the expenses that you may occur. And if you're going to be rewarded for it in the long run by not having to pay as much as either a deductible or a premium, guess who wins? You win. And that's the way it should be. So, it's almost like, you're investing in your health. It's like investing in the stock market. And if the particular company that you've done business with happens to have enough profit, they're going to give you a dividend. So you get the dividend. And that's the same thing, and it's the same way medical insurance should work as well. If you, as an individual, conscientious individual and family, take care of the important medical needs that you require, and do away with the incidentals, then our cost as an insurance company is going to be less, and we can potentially pass those savings on to you. Sound like a winner? Well, it does to me, and that's why we've created King Cobra, so that we can get away from Obamacare and the millions or billions of dollars in excessive spending that's taking place. Yes, we have to rely on administrators, and those administrators have to be conscientious about the needs. and about who qualifies and who doesn't qualify. Unfortunately, that's the society that we live in. Are we talking about people who just can't get out of the way because they're poor? Well, we have programs to cover that. And it's not like they're going to be left out on the street, but we have to reduce those people who are not qualified to the program to get out of the program. We must do that. And again, I can only point to 20 million illegal aliens here in the United States. If each one of those has insurance coverage that we're paying for, obviously, we're not going to have the money for everything. We can't reduce the deficit. We can't move forward. So again, what I need you to do is actually get on the internet and look up Cobra. Now, there's not going to be a lot of information there on King Cobra at this moment, but there will be. And you can see the progress that's going to be made. We really can't get bogged down in political chaos and confusion over what's good and what's bad. We have an existing program that was put into effect by President Ronald Reagan. It's been gone through page after page after page after page after page. It's been working since 1985. And all we have to do is modify that program with King Cobra to carry this thing forward and to eliminate Obamacare. Now, are we saying we want to eliminate Obamacare because its name is Obama? No. We're saying that the financial responsibility of this administration says we must cut our expenses and we must improve upon the services that we're able to give to all of our citizens, whether it be the seniors or the veterans or the children. Everybody needs to be able to be adequately covered at a reasonable cost that they can afford, and in some cases subsidized. Yes, there was a subsidy at one time with Cobra. Now, I'm not sure that it's still in effect, but I do know that even with Obamacare, there are people who are being subsidized because of their income level. So it's not necessarily the case that a premium that's being charged for a particular insurance program is excessively high if, in fact, either the government or the employer is paying part of that. So you really need to look into those things and look forward to hearing more about King Cobra, as I'm sure you will, because this is an issue that is on the minds of the population. It's something that we need to deal with, and because we're leaders in the world, we really need to set forth a program that inspires others to follow the same direction. And I do believe that King Cobra offers that opportunity. So when you're out there checking around, you should be checking, with the insurance companies to see, how it fits with you. Now, the Cobra Health insurance program is also on the internet, and you can find that on Wikipedia. You can go into Cobra Health insurance forums and just the affordable health insurance plans. However, keep in mind that it is part of the promise that Donald Trump made to the American public, because we wanted it. Those premiums were too high. There weren't enough people covered under the program, and a lot of them couldn't afford it, so they're out without insurance. You see, we have to pay for the services that we need. Now, someone is going to pay for them. The advantage, again, is that we have a pre-existing plan that was authorized by Congress. It has worked since 1985, and it continue to work until we find a very, very secure and improved program that is not Obamacare. So if you have questions about this and you would like to call in, you can call in at 949-467-6013. And this is Cobra, and I'm Blue Laker. So if you want to go further with that, if you want to make comments, if you want to tell me why it's no good, hey, that's fine. That's what we're here for. We're here to hear constructive criticism. We're not a legislative body, so you don't have to appease everyone in the room. You just have to make sure that they understand the benefits that can inure from a decent program. And if someone says, well, we got this program in it and we think it's better than King Cobra, well, wow, guess what? Bring it forth. Let's see it. Because President Trump said another thing. I will be your voice. In order for him to be our voice, he's got to hear what you have to say. So it's up to you to help decide your future for you and your family. Do the right thing. Join in. Let's not be divided. Let's be united in an effort to make healthcare in America the best in the world. So, again, I would caution you to look at some of these programs and to understand that we do have the opportunity of making it a success. I think I've given you enough information on Cobra for today. And I want you to know that either of those programs, even the Cobra that's existing, it includes all of the essentials, prescriptions and so forth. But Obamacare went too far. It included too many people and has deprived a lot of those people of their own insurance program. Cobra, on the other hand, didn't do that. It allowed them to go to the doctor of their choice. It allowed them to have their own insurance program. And the only restrictions for a lot of people was the cost. By doing away with the pre-existing conditions, we eliminate the major portion of expenses associated with the program. It's not our problem. You say, well, that's not the humanitarian way that we should operate by. Well, guess what? We can't let the ship go down when it's overloaded. We have to do something to keep it afloat. And this is the opportunity for us to do that. I don't say accept it in its current form. I say modify it to meet the demands of the public and at the same time reduce the expenses for those who are in good health and take care of themselves. Is there something wrong with that? Again, that phone number is 949-467-0613, and you'll be talking to me, Blue Laker. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you, the pros and the cons. This is a radio show, and we are on the social medias, and you will find this information coming forth on all of them, Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias, so that everybody around the world will have an opportunity of voicing their own opinion and joining with us to make this a success. Is America your first consideration? Is your health the first consideration? Why not both of them together? As an American and a healthy person, you can help us make progress in the United States to the satisfaction of at least the multitude. Beyond that, we have to make exceptions. Beyond that, we have to make compromises. But the bottom line is that we have to do something to prove or improve our health benefits and the costs associated with it so that we can have more disposable income to do something else with. In my opinion, this is a win-win situation, and it should not be looked at under any other circumstances. It's up to us to make those changes. We can only do that by informing our legislative bodies and letting them know that we demand action and we demand it quick. The sooner we get off Obamacare, the quicker we can start saving money. Now, again, we're not saying that there isn't another plan out there that maybe even exceeds this. But you know what? I don't think very many of us know about it. And the only way that we can even begin to think about that is to know, is there a better plan? Is there a better plan than having your own doctor? Well, there might be. One of those, and I will mention it to you, is that if you're allowed to carry on with your own insurance program under King Cobra, then people who come together, and when I say people come together, there's plenty of people already together. They're in unions and there are associations. They're part of condominium associations and the like. They've all come together. And they constitute, in some cases, thousands of people. Now, when you say, is there a better program? Well, maybe there is for those groups. Because each one of those is covered under that program, whatever it happens to be. As a result, they are in a position to select their own doctors, their own administrators, even their own hospitals. And so, as a result of that, they could invest in their particular organization, be self-insured, and reduce their costs tremendously. That's another issue. But right now, we're trying to deal with Obamacare and the best ways to eliminate it. So if you have any ideas, again, don't forget, you can call us at 949-467-0613. My name is Lou Baker, but I go by the name of Blue Laker. And it's important that you make contact with us so that we can do something for you.